Hello and welcome to episode 233 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
Yes, the Wolves 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter. Please rate us on Spotify as well if you can, and like us on YouTube and subscribe.
Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello.
And we're going to get by with a little help from our friend Mark Rhodes, who is here. Hey, look, 25 years later, or however many it is, we'll still be doing
easily,
that joke.
really? I'm not that old. Already. It was 21. Is it not in here or what? Thanks for having us on, lads. Much appreciated.
No worries at all. No, thank you for coming on. It feels like therapy market for a lot of us, so welcome aboard. I'm sure it won't be the last therapy session. It does seem to be happening on a weekly basis. Harry, we would normally start with the last game. We're going to put that off for as long as possible, but we haven't got any great news to fill it with today's news of Nunes potentially going to Manchester City.
Yeah, I thought we was going to have a kind of a low-key-ish podcast this week, but as you said, just before we come on, Fabrizio, whenever he tweets, that's when you know it's happening. So It looks like they've put a bid in, 50 million plus. He's already been like, yep, I want to go. And we were just saying before we come on, even if Jeff, Fosun, whatever, said, no, we're not selling him, he's just not going to want to be here anyway. Now he knows Man City are interested. So it's an absolute disaster. And I mean, I think everyone agrees if they don't spend a bit of this money, we are in big, big trouble.
Bayliss, he hasn't really been here that long. I was just looking at it, and I think Friday was a year since he actually signed, because he was pretty late on in the transfer window, because we were having kittens this time last year about not having signed any players. Little did we know that was actually Paradise Dreamland territory, where we signed some players in the transfer window that wasn't Matt Doherty. Are you surprised that this is seems like it's come out of the blue?
Well, there was a lot of rumours at the end of last year that Liverpool were interested, so it's not completely out of the blue. It's out of the blue this time, and what's gone on since those moments. The fact we've sold a load of players already and people have left. I think the strange one is, I think for Guedes and Nunes, we paid 66 million. Is that right? Someone check my numbers.
Something like that.
And we're not even going to recoup that, because Guedes, I mean, waste of time. Another Wolves transfer that's been useless. And now we've got Nunes, who looked pretty promising until he got sent off. And we're not going to get our money back to show for it. So, I don't know. It stinks of like asset stripping a dying business, doesn't it?
Mark, sprinkle some fairy dust on it for us, if you can.
I don't think you can. You can only polish a turd so much, can't you? So I just think, like, it's just constant, lads, isn't it? Like, you know, I think it was like this kind of false dawn when we had that great performance against a United side, let's be honest, are absolutely terrible. And if Spurs are absolutely like pounding you into the dust, then you've got problems. But we need some perspective here. Brighton are a great team, but if you're going to pick two teams to play your first two games, Luton at home and the Wolves team away from home who's just had a manager change, then, you know, it's a tricky one. I think Nunes, did he know about the Man City interest before he had a little, you know, throw his toys out the pram at the end of the game? I don't know. Who knows? But Pep is obviously a massive fan. I remember an interview that he gave, and he was a huge fan of Nunes. So he's been on his radar for a while. The problem that I have with the whole situation is that if we are going to sell him, then we need at least 60, 70 million from them, because if not, then we're giving, was it 10% to Sporting anyway? So we're going to break even on one of our biggest assets. It's business 101, and Bayliss is absolutely right. It feels as though it's asset stripping, and I hope I'm wrong, but it feels as though if Nunes goes, then it's the beginning of the end. And I don't, you know, trying to sprinkle some fairy dust here. But I just can't see where the good times are coming. Like, I think our acid test is going to be Saturday when we play Everton, and obviously we'll come on to that a bit later on. But that's the team. They're the teams that we're going to be judged on. Not United and Brighton. We're going to be nowhere near those two teams this season. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Harry, it seems to come out that, Paqueta looked like he was going to go to City for around £60 million, has obviously been pulled out of the Brazil squad for reasons around betting and irregular bets in Brazil. It does seem a little bit unfair, though, sometimes that, these teams can just swoop in, spend a lot of money. And I know Wolves will probably never be in that position unless there's a sheikh out there that's listening to this right now, in which case I've got a fantastic football club to sell you. But then you've got someone like Calvin Phillips, who's sat on the bench almost in no man's land for Manchester City, and they think that Nunes would be a better option.
As Mark said, Pep's a fan, isn't he? So that's obviously the main reason. But Nunes, like watching him last season, I'm surprised that Man City or Liverpool won him. Obviously, he was brilliant against Man United. Maybe they saw that game and thought, yeah, let's go for him now. But I'm still in shock, to be honest. If it goes through, I mean, it's already been meltdown. You know what social media is like. It's the end of the world, isn't it? There's just a rumour at the moment. But like I said, Fabrizio, it's happening. And it's because Pep's a fan. It's as simple as that. Like he'll probably get the best out of him as well. He'll become an absolute will beater, and we'll all be sat there going, "Jesus Christ, why couldn't he be like that for us all the time?" So yeah, time will tell. He'll probably be signed by the time we wrap this podcast up.
I'll keep checking.
Yeah. Refreshing Twitter. Bailiff, do you agree with Harry? Do you think Pep is a better manager than Bruno Lage?
Good.
No. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Give him a chance.
Who knew that he would maybe get the best out of him?
It's embarrassing.
Depressing, isn't it? Try and be positive, Bailey. Try and be positive.
We've come on here to try and talk about football. We played quite well against Man United, who weren't very good. We've got a good pacing against a good side, and now we've got 3 games when
one of our best players go in.
Mark, 3 away games. Our away form's terrible, but they're all winnable games. So we've got to walk away with 5+ points, really.
Mark, if we get 70 million for Nunes, do you think Jeff will spend any cash?
I still think that we will be in exactly the same situation where we're looking at loan to buy players, which, has worked in the past, but I just think I feel sorry for Gary O'Neill, man. I really do. He's come in, and if you're getting rid of Nunes, he's one of our senior players, which is mad to say, but he is. If you start getting rid of players of that ilk, then you've got some serious problems. And I know he might be a bit more of a yes man, but he ain't going to take a lot of our senior players going. They need to invest a hell of a lot. We need a centre half. We need a proper forward, and we probably need a midfielder as well. Well, we will do after he goes. So we need the spine of the team sorted out. But I just can't see them investing.
It's the same, Mark. It's the same with all Chinese-owned football clubs. Unfortunately, it's happened to all of them.
I think we've had our moment in the sun, and we really enjoyed it. And I thought it was going to last a little bit longer. But if I'm being totally honest, if we can scrape a 17th place finish, Fosun will be going, job done. On to the next season. Yeah, and that's where we are. Unfortunately, we're not a Europa League team anymore. We're not a top 10 team anymore. And if we're getting rid of players like Nunes, then we are literally scraping a relegation. And if not, you've got teams like Luton, Sheffield United, and another team, and we might be that other team, unfortunately.
Harry, do you think?
Do you want me to brighten the mood a little bit?
Yeah,
yes,
go on.
Please.
Yeah, go on.
He hasn't. He actually, just to be fair, he actually hasn't gone yet. So I'm being positive.
Is that it? That's the groundbreaking fairy dust that we were looking for.
Yeah, that's bringing the mood.
Harry, one player who's a very, very good young player and is quite highly regarded by Pep at Manchester City is Cole Palmer. And I don't know if do you think there would ever be a swap deal in there potentially, or maybe lower the price for Man City? Because he said he doesn't want to send him out on loan. It would always be a permanent move if he was to go. Do you think that would maybe be on the cards, or am I just thinking a bit too Football Manager about it?
You're thinking too Football Manager, yeah. I just think that he's just going to go. It'd be nice if they could do something like that. I mean, to be fair to what's his name now? Is it Hobbs, the new football director of football? He's done like there was on about the Giles deal, weren't they? Saying they've done really good with that. Put things in his contract about buying him back and things like that. So if they can do something like that, clever, mate, try and get a swap at a player to come our way. We need it, don't we? Let's be honest. But I just can't see it. If you was a Man City player, would you want to come to Wolves? I don't think I would.
No.
No.
No. I wouldn't. It's like a sinking ship at the minute. I think. Let's try and be positive a little bit, because we've got a team that we're playing on Saturday. They're even worse than us. They are gash. They are possibly the worst team I've ever seen in my entire life.
What did you call it, Sam? El Crapico.
El Crapico at the weekend, 100%.
Everton 3, Wolves 0.
yeah, exactly. You see it happening, can't you? El Crapico, my God.
But you know what? I'd scrape. I would be delighted with a 1-0 win. Just to get us going, like a little bit of luck. We just need a little bit of luck, I think, as well. Like on and off the field, like for the fans to just get behind the team. We like that Man United game afterwards. Everybody was so
buzzing,
excited and buzzing about the upcoming season, and I think it's we've got to put it into context. Like we're going to be playing teams around us, like the Lutons of this world, the Burnley, Sheffield United. These are the teams we need to beat. Like, and if we can scrape a couple of points here or there from the better teams, then that's where we are as a team. So I think Everton's a huge game on Saturday, and we need something from it. We really do.
Harry, let's talk about the Brighton game, and without sort of channeling my inner Mike Bassett, England manager, 3 cheers for Matoma, who ran the show. They were brilliant, and I think we said on the podcast last week that last season Brighton were probably hands down the best side that we'd seen at Molineux, and they were just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, we were, because as Mark mentioned, after the Man United game, we were all buzzing. So a lot of Wolves fans, including us, was going into this game with hope. And the team that Gary O'Neill started was what everyone wanted, getting Fabio Silva in there instead of Sarabia. So I had no complaints. And to be honest, that first half, it was quite a competitive game. Obviously, you could see straight away how good Brighton are. Like, refused to boot it out. The keeper just looks for a pass or to hit it through quickly, straight up to the strikers. And it took that Matoma excellent run to break the deadlock, and you can look at our defence. Semedo is all at sea. Dawson and Kilman just let him run through. But a fantastic finish from a fantastic player. And if we could have put our chances away that first half, it could have been a totally different game. Fabio had a bad game, unfortunately. It's really bad timing for him to have a bad game, because I really wish he'd have got off to a flyer in his first start.
Harry, that's the problem, isn't it? Is that could have been a really tough game for Brighton if we'd have just taken the chances. I mean,
story of our life.
Could have been 4-4.
A good striker. I think in both the Wolves games this year, we've had over 2.5 expected goals. I know that thing's absolute nonsense, but just using it as a stat. And we scored 1. The opposition's against us. Brighton had just over 2.5, and Man United had 1 point nothing, and we're 5-1 down on aggregate.
Yeah. I think the difference is from last season to this season is that we are making the chances. It's not like we're watching these like 0-0s and that they are proper 0-0s, like the XG or whatever it is, like is 0. Like we are getting into those positions, and in the end, surely we've got to score. We've got to score. Like it, I just feel as though if you can get it to the right players at the right time, we will get the ball in the net eventually. It's just I don't want to be negative or anything, but if Fabio Silva is the answer to anything, what is the question? How many chances does that lad need? Yeah. How many chances does he need? I've been banging on about this.
He did have the ball in the net in his defence, didn't he? He did have it in the net. He was offside, but that one-on-one, Jesus.
I'm sorry. He's had so many. Like, who is he? Like, what does he do? I know he's quick, but he needs so many chances. So many. Like, it's like Oh God, he does my head in. He does my head in so much. And like, I know a lot of people are big fans of him, but I don't see it. He's not a Premier League striker.
Yeah,
he's literally a typical Wolves player, isn't he? He is what Wolves are.
Yeah.
Just can't score.
I'll play the big lad instead.
we are the absolute walking definition of all fart no poo.
Yeah.
We look brilliant in spells of 15 to 20 minutes. You think, God, this is a team. Oh, 1-0 down.
Look, you've got to say though, I know Ait-Nouri's not expected to score any goals for us, but he should have scored as well. It's just I swear to God, we've got a curse over us because we're getting into the box, we're creating chances, and look at, like you say, Baines, looking at the XG, looking at all the stats. It's just we had such a mad 10 minutes as soon as the second half kicked off. Obviously, Brighton a class, but we just give it on, really. We crumbled. Sarr was all fairness, Harry. Sarr first half. My life. I don't know what he was doing with his feet. Man. He needs dropping, doesn't he? Yeah.
But we did it against Leicester last season, didn't we? We lost 4-0 at home, and Leicester had 4 shots on target. It's a classic Wolves. It's a classic Wolves showing, but you got to take the positives of we played some decent football and created some chances for a change. But someone's got to put the fucking ball in the net.
We're entertained, at least. Just the wrong end. The goals are going in.
Harry, I think you called it there, though. Really, the player that is in there, where in a position where you wouldn't expect him to be there for his attacking prowess, is Ait-Nouri, because I would say that Bueno is a better left back in terms of delivery, but maybe not in terms of attacking. But that chance just flying over the bar is just unforgivable.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it was a good little poke through by Fabio. We've just been slagging him off, a good little ball through. But he's just tried to absolutely smash it into the net, hasn't he? Needed a little bit of composure there, but nobody's got composure. Our left back not going to have it if our strikers then. But like I say, it's a completely different game. If that goes in, it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And Mark, we are seeing it a little bit more now, and I think Man City sort of started the trend of using goalkeepers that can sort of play football and almost act as a centre back in some cases, or at least that sweeper role. And a 33-year-old Jason Steele rolling back the years, and you just think, actually, we joke sometimes of teams feeling like they've got an extra man, but when you're playing like that, you're playing that progressive football where you're almost adding to your back line, you almost are playing against an extra person.
It is. It's the complete opposite of what Jose Sarr is. He is so. It gives me heart palpitations every time he has the ball anywhere near his feet. It's shocking. Like every time he goes to pass the ball and it goes out of play, he goes, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
That was the third time I've done it. Like
he got it slightly wrong or something. Like sorry, I didn't quite get that right. It's like, exactly. No, you shanked it.
I'll do it the next time. It's like when I play golf. It's like literally next time I'll get it. I'll get it next time. But Steele's brilliant with the ball, and you're so right. Like that's what's happening nowadays with teams. Like they want an extra defender who can play out from the back, and if their goalkeepers can save a few, you ain't got to save any if you've got the ball 90% of the time. So Jose Sarr needs to go for me. Like Bentley, I don't know how much better he is on the ball, but he certainly can't be any worse than him. Like the way he's gone down from last season. Well, not now, the season before. Is just like it blows my mind. Like I don't know how you can fall from grace so much.
I think it's part of it was probably not having any competition, because he hasn't had any realistic competition until Bentley came in. I would say, but Harry, I think it's quite easy to make Fabio a scapegoat, and he does seem to be the one that gets a lot of stick when Wolves don't play well. But I thought somebody who's been a rock since he arrived, someone who was probably the player of the season for me last season, Craig Dawson, had a torrid afternoon.
Oh, it's the worst he's played, obviously. He couldn't cope, could he, with the pace running at him? I mean, some of Brighton's players are just so good. Same with Kilman as well, though, and Semedo. It's so weird because we spoke about the United game. They were all brilliant, all three of those. So to go from that to that is just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way Brighton's set up. And to be fair, Gary O'Neill, I think it's quite brave, and I kind of do like the way he just went for it. Yeah. But it just worked to our disadvantage, especially defensively, because Brighton just picked us off. And for the fact that Dawson got took off for Toney Gomez just said it all. But yeah, I'm not going to go too harsh on him. He was due a bad game. He had so many good games last year.
Toney didn't play badly when he came on, though, Bayliss, did he? I thought he was, he still looks a little bit raw, a little bit like a diamond in the rough, but you can see that there's certainly a player in there.
Yeah, I think the game had sort of gone from us at that point. We had a crap sort of 15 minutes straight after the break and it killed the game. That's our fault. But I think the problem we've now got is that we're going to put so much onto these sort of young kids' shoulders to carry the team. We're already, we've just spent 5 minutes on pelters at Fabio Silva, who's 21 years old. He's got a handful of first-team caps under his belt.
Yeah.
Which, give him pelters because he's missing chances he should be scoring. But we're going to become more and more reliant on young, raw talent, and they're the people that are going to make mistakes, and we've got to live with that. And as long as, Fabio should be scoring those sort of chances, Toney should have been more solid, and he has those odd errors. So they're the players, in my opinion, that I'm going to give less stick to than the sort of old guard that should be doing a solid job. I know Sarr fits and starts. I know I'm going backtracking a bit, but he has his moments, but he's a decent shot stopper, easy for me to say. And
didn't stop many of them Saturday, did he?
Yeah, scored 4 of the 6. So.
He palmed it into their path. It was a great pass.
Yeah, one of them he did, yeah.
And he was all at sea against United for their goal. He was like, I don't know where he was going. He was going to the Trafford Centre, I think, for the United goal last week.
His confidence is just shot completely. I think he's got no confidence at the moment.
Is Bentley not a little bit grass is greener sort of mentality?
Yeah.
At least it's grass. a sad wasteland with Jose Sarr. A sad wasteland of goalkeeping. Some grass will do. Harry, was there anyone that stood out for Wolves man of the match?
The first half, especially, I thought Cunha's runs were fantastic again.
Yeah,
he was just doing the same. He's so good at that. He obviously I think he put Fabio through for the one, didn't he? So yeah, Cunha. Neto weren't as good as he was against Man United, and our midfield were crap as well. Like Gomez and Lamina were outstanding against Man United, but they were crap against Brighton. I thought Nunes was actually pretty good until he lost his head, obviously right at the death. But maybe he knew Man City was watching in hindsight, so he probably upped his game a bit that first half. So yeah, probably Cunha. Only the one that stood out for me.
Mark,
I think we missed a trick with Neto not being up against Milner. Why didn't we do that? That was a bit silly. Yeah. I think, I know Nunes is a bit quicker than Milner, but Neto would have had him on toast. So I don't understand that tactical thing. I agree with Harry about Cunha. He was head and shoulders above everyone. I think he gives defenses kittens, and I think if he can stay fit, I think we'll be all right. I really do think we'll be okay. But because he's probably our most important player at the moment, for giving us a chance of scoring, and he just seems as though he's like the Energizer Bunny, he just doesn't stop. So I think he worked really hard for the team, even in a lost cause. So yeah, Cunha, 100%.
Dan, do you have a clean sweep of Cunha?
Yeah, it sort of has to be. I mean, I'm all with what Mark said there, to be honest. He does stand out. He is giving defensive problems, but he's got to score some fucking goals.
It's fair comment. If I'm giving grief for Silva not scoring, then Cunha's got to have it as well, to be fair.
His miss. United. Did you see his miss second half, Cunha?
Oh my God, he was awful.
When he was like on the line, I think he was stood under the crossbar and he still managed to I think the keeper saved it, but he still went over.
It's like getting the yips, isn't it? Playing a sport, and you're like, people that can't let the dart go.
Yeah,
but at least Hwang can score. So maybe if we start him, maybe he'll
he can't trap a bag of cement, but he can score a goal.
Good header, man. Good header that was.
No, to be fair, like Hwang, a most improved player. I think last year, I don't think we would have said boo to a goose if he would have gone for £3 million last year. We were like laughing when he was starting before, but he's been one of the shining lights the last couple of games. I think when he's come on for his cameos, I think he's been great. So maybe he does start. Somebody's got to come in for Nunes. So it's either Hwang or a Sarabia, isn't it? So,
I in the car on the way back had reverse radio because the radio was happening in front of me because Harry got so wound up about Gabby Agbonlahor and Jamie O'Hara. Who obviously doing the show after the game. I've never heard anything like it because he was talking to the producer on the phone and then he started swearing and he's like, "Okay, sorry,
I can't believe they let me on.
I won't swear." And then they were like, "I will ring you back." And I was like, Harry, they're not in any way, shape, or form ringing you back. And he gets a call, loses signal in like the dip just coming out of Wolverhampton. They ring him back again, and then he's on air. Now, Harry, I'm trying to find the clip to share it with everybody. So
it's got to go into the podcast.
I just want to know. What did they say? What did they say that riled you up so much? Because you were so angry.
It weren't so much of what they were saying that day. It was Gabby Bonglahor. Just every time I listen to him, he winds me up because he's had us to go down the last 3 years, hasn't he? Like every year, he just hates us. And then O'Hara was like kind of agreeing with things he was saying when we were listening, and it's just O'Hara, isn't it? Like it's Jamie O'Hara. So I just rang up, said to producers, I did swear a bit, like you said, because I was a bit annoyed. And I was so surprised when they rang me back. Then, as I said, lost signal, rang back again. They were like, just please don't swear, mate. But you know what TalkSPORT like? They love shit like that. They want people on who's wound up. So I got on there. Luckily, I didn't swear. And I went a bit over the top because I said we shocked the world against Man United. I don't know if you can play the clip, but yeah. And then O'Hara, well, you'll hear it, but it went mad. Like I think it's got like 1.4 million views on Twitter or something. I had people messaging me like laughing and that. But can you find it, or should I say what I said?
I'm gonna see if I can share.
But Gabby Bonglahor, man, like, but they got exactly what they wanted. That's what the show's all about. They just want fans to lose their head, ring up, and look at the views it's got on Twitter. They've done the job, innit? They've done exactly what they wanted.
Let's see if this works.
Yeah. Hold on, let me share it. There we go.
Oh, okay. See if this works. Here we go.
Does it pop up? Does it? If I have it.
Let's see. Let's have a go.
Harry, do you think you're going to be okay?
Yes, we're going to be fine. We got beat by the better team today. Brighton are a greatly run club.
Yeah, but it's not about
absolutely fantastic.
Let's put aside. Let's put aside how good Brighton were, how good they are. What do you think about your club's finishing?
Well, we can't hit a barn door. It's obvious.
So how are you going to be fine then?
Because it's going to come. We're going to start scoring.
What's going to happen? Steve Ball going to come back.
We had a one-on-one. What?
Is Steve Ball going to come back and put the ball in the back of the net?
All right. So a Bonglahor, you know how to rub us up the wrong way. Well done.
Steve, you need to calm down and tell us how Wolves are going to get.
Fabio Silva started today. He had a one-on-one. Yes, the keeper saved it, but he's going to come good. We've got Cunha behind him. He's going to set him up. We're going to be fine, I'm telling you. Yes, we've got rid of a lot of players, but apart from Neves, all the players we've got rid of weren't starters. We're going to be fine. We've got Cunha, we've got Fabio Silva, we've got Neto who's coming back into form. We are looking good. Brighton are a fantastic team, I'm telling you. Watching them today, they are going to be pushing towards the top four, I think. But we are going to be fine. We've got Everton to come up. We're going to go there. We're going to get 3 points. But it just really annoys me listening to you. Like, I think that's part of your job to wind fans up. Because O'Hara playing for Wolves was a disgrace. Yeah. And you've got a Bonglahor, the Villa fan, who just winds
Harry, we're all a disgrace, are we? Are we all a disgrace?
Your job, both of your jobs, is to wind up the listeners, and you've done it. You've done it well.
You scored 1 goal.
Harry, you need to listen to the show a bit more, mate.
Shots. So how's that winding you up when you're showing last season? Pedence Neves, top goal scorer, 6 goals. We stating facts, mate.
Well,
that's class.
I mean, I don't know where the Harry Mansell is that rang up that radio station on Saturday because he's not on the podcast right now. Brighton are going to win the league. Wolves are going to be fine. Harry, you gave O'Hara. I think they cut off a little bit O'Hara where you gave him a lot of stick for taking wages when he was at Wolves.
Yeah,
you did give him a little bit of a hammer.
That's only like a minute of it. I went on for about 5 minutes. God. Yeah, but like after that, I said, "O'Hara, you're a disgrace for Wolves. You stole a living and all that." The full clip is on the full clip is on YouTube. But mate, I had so many messages.
Speaking the truth.
It's so true. Like,
and that's why he's cut you off.
Oh yeah, they cut me off. About 5 minutes in, they cut me off.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done. Yeah. Brilliant.
It was just brilliant. Just hear it because obviously we can't hear what's going on because obviously the radio's turned down. But I've never known anyone, Harry, who can have a conversation about sport in the way that you do after 8 pints. I don't know how you do it. You finish that conversation, you talk about something else like, you've been in the garden recently, and he dribbles on himself. But as soon as that red light goes on, Mike Live, he's on another planet.
Harry could have 8 pints and a bottle of whiskey, and as long as it's boxing, football, or poker, we can talk about it.
Stone cold sober in the zone. Fantastic.
He is. I've never known anything like it. I'll just be tripping over my words.
What did I say to you though, Sam? literally before the call, I said, I know exactly what I'm going to say, and I bet it's going to go mad. This, and as soon as I put the phone down, I turned around to them, I went, "That's going to go mad."
Yeah.
Doth my
It was.
cap
To be fair,
concern?
I felt. What I will say is, though, I felt a little bit sorry for O'Hara because he weren't being that bad, but I just flipped on him as well. Like, I
Nah,
just thought,
Harry, he had it
you
coming.
know,
He
it
had
was
it
my
coming
chance.
for years.
Yeah, yeah, it was my chance just to
Stole
say what I
anything.
thought to him. You know what I mean? And his face looked pretty. I felt a
He
bit, when I
didn't
seen
like.
his
He didn't
face.
like.
when
He
I
didn't
watched
like
it.
it. He didn't like it.
No, he looked a bit sad. Yeah, and then when they put the phone down as well, O'Hara looked at Gabby and went, "You do wind him up though, don't you?" That's what he said to
Did
him.
Did he?
Just before we move on from this, Sam, because obviously when the fourth went in for Brighton, we went down to the North Bank bar, didn't we? And Ian, shout out to Ian, what a legend he was, who we bumped into. Just thought I'd give him a little mention.
Yeah, no, it was good to talk to him. Actually, I think we consoled each other, didn't we? I mean, I stayed on a little bit longer than you, to be fair, Harry, because you got to get another 6 pints in before you got to go in the car and ring a radio station. But yeah, I think a lot of people had sort of left, didn't they? It was quite empty, and I think you pay your money, and was it first podcast of the season we were saying it's too expensive. I can't believe they put the prices up so much, and then you see it empty like that, and you go, are you really getting your money's worth? I don't know. Is there some sort of argument where you should be staying, or Bayliss is shaking his head? You pay your money, you make your choice.
Yeah, you pay your money, you make your choice, but is it good value for money? Isn't at the moment, is it?
A lot left when the fourth went in.
I take what you're saying, but if this kicks off something like a Wolves revolution, something amazing happens, the Saudis come in and completely ruin football, but we're absolutely fine. We're signing all the players left, right, and centre. We take these moments there, and that's what makes the moments in the Europa League, in those sort of important victories going forward, and that's what makes it.
Sam,
good.
You're totally right with that, right? Us sat here talking about Wolves appreciate our runs in Europe way more than any Man United fan appreciates winning the league.
Of course,
because we've been through the shit. We've been awful. We've watched us lose away at God knows where. Lots of places.
Luton the worst in the conference.
Notts County, I think, is the worst one I've had. Was it County? Or was it Luton? Crawley, maybe. Somewhere terrible. Like, those days make you appreciate it more. So, yeah, you're quite right. But it is painful.
So you've got to stay with the team through thick and thin, haven't you? I mean, I know we got trounced, but we didn't get outplayed in a sense that we didn't have a shot on goal, we didn't have any chances, and we were just camped in our own half.
But
you pay to be entertained.
But we've got the right to be critical as well, Sam. With what's going on.
Yeah, of course.
There's a balance to it, isn't there? There is a balance to it. Like there are a lot of people saying, "Just be grateful. We were in League One 10 years ago," which I, to a certain extent, I do agree with what's going on. They could do much better. And do you think Jeff stayed because he was there with his mate when he in the full strip gear? He had his hat on.
I forgot to say about
he's
that.
He's a slug and lettuce. Yeah.
The chairman was there in full kit wanker, wasn't he, with a hat on?
I find it a little bit obscene that the season ticket prices have gone up.
Oh man!
And they're going to sell Nunes, maybe. And if they do that and not bring in anyone else, I think they're basically going to the fans. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you'll come anyway. So
Civil war is coming.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it is coming. It's
if
like
we're on nothing,
under the surface.
If we're on nothing by October the 1st, there is going to be the Villa game is going to be vile.
See it coming. Right. See it coming.
He won't be sat in slug and lettuce again, will he? The main bloke. I can't believe he was in there. What a place to choose. Eh?
Where was it? The Newcastle player, the new signing, and he asked the squad, where's it good? Where's good to go out? And he booked a table at Spoons.
My man.
Is it Somali? Was it the new one?
Yeah, such
a good stitch up. That
brilliant.
That's quality. You just ply his table with peas, wouldn't you?
He could have at least gone to the hog. He could have gone to the Hog's Head, couldn't he?
True.
What's it? How do you pronounce? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I know you're saying Hog's Head correctly.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look. Let's have a chat about Everton, because if there's a team that's worse than Wolves in the league, then it certainly is Everton. Mark touched on it earlier. Harry, he's going to make at least one change because, as we said before, Nunes, who may not even be a Wolves player by the time this game comes around, is suspended. Second yellow card at the weekend. Who comes in his place? It's probably Wang, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
I think it would be Sarabia, because he did well when he come on. I know he had a shocker at United and got took off, but he did well when he come on against Brighton, although the game was gone. I think he'd put Sarabia in, yeah. It'd be interesting to see if he keeps Fabio Silva in, or he might put Hwang in for Fabio Silva. But apart from that, I think it would be as you were, unless he thinks what we think and Bentley should be in there. Or he goes really extreme, puts Toty Gomez in, which I doubt. But I think, yeah, the two changes, if I had to predict it, is Sarabia in for Nunes and maybe Hwang for Fabio Silva. But I hope he keeps Fabio Silva in to give him another chance.
I had a sort of epiphany about this on the tube. And it's, you play the big lad and you have Cunha running off the shoulder because he's quick enough and skillful enough. So you hold it up, get him behind Everton. They'll shit themselves anyway because they're not very good. Yeah. It lands somewhere in the docks. I've got to, there's got to be a change up top, right? You've got to give someone a go.
I don't know. Mark?
Kalajdzic comes in for me.
Yeah.
He do, yeah. I just think like balls into the box. The Everton defense is atrocious. Do you see some of the goals that they conceded against Villa?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were bad.
And Pickford's tiny.
Yeah.
I just think he'd have a field day if he's like, half fit, which hopefully we hope he, his knees not made of crisps. But we'll see. I just think he could have a field day, and Cunha in behind him. I think, yeah, why not? I think Hwang comes in for me. Sarabia probably comes in for me. So you're looking at 3 changes there.
I don't like Sarabia in there.
Yeah, he's a bit Marmite in his Sarabia. I was like, I think there's a player there, but I think he needs to be a bit quicker in the Premier League.
I want the pace down the line in behind them.
Yeah.
Get their backs turned, make them shit themselves.
I think Harry's point about Pickford is a good one because I think goalkeepers are sort of coming out of that era of being overprotected and sort of it's a little bit more even now. So actually putting someone who's about 9 foot taller than the goalkeeper in there could be a shout, Harry.
Well, look what Onana had to do to Kalajdzic. He took his head off. You know what I mean?
Well, you know the rule about any time Wolves buy a player over 6'4". We've had a few, haven't we? That Meyerhofer. We had another one from a few years ago. They can't head the ball.
Class.
No, it's a drawback.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, to be fair.
They can't hit the ball.
50 pence.
Big string of spaghetti like that.
Not one of them in the back of the car. One of them nodding dogs.
But like Mark said though, I watched that Villa game and they were absolutely like they were so bad.
2 shots on target, Everton.
Oh my
they're
God.
awful.
I think they're gone. I do.
Yeah.
Well, when they beat us, they might have a resurgence. But saying that, from an Everton point of view, they were so bad against Villa, their home fans are going to be expecting a response. So just typical that they just have a worldie against us. So that would be annoying. But if we don't get a result out of this, just don't go on Twitter after because there's no point. It'll be the end of the world.
This is the game.
Yeah, this is the sorry, mate. We've got to get something out of the game, a draw at least, man. We can't not get any points against them. They are shocking. They really are.
If there is ever a game to just get one in the first 20 minutes, because it will turn the whole of Goodison Park. All the fans will turn. Yeah, definitely. Surely that's got to be his idea. Get on them, get on the front foot that we have, and just hope
he's got to stay aggressive.
Someone can put one in the net.
It'd be so weird if O'Neill just switched now and decided to go defensive. Now we're going to Everton. It just wouldn't make sense, would it? If you're going to be brave against Brighton, be brave against Everton. Stick to what you're doing.
A large effect.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, Mark, it's so funny you say that. I think my dad was saying in the car on the way back, and a lot of people have been saying it. It does feel a bit like we had 3 1-0 losses under him, didn't we? And we played really well. And after we lost those 3, he just put us back to a back 5, didn't he? And we just sat back, counter. Hopefully, I don't think Gary O'Neill will do that, but it is funny how similar it's been the first 2 games, although we lost 4-1 and not 1-0 twice. Yeah. So a lot of XG, a lot of the ball. Can't put the ball in the back of the net though. Same old story, Wolves, isn't it?
Steve Madley did an interesting article on just that thing, Harry, in the Athletic, saying that is it time to persevere with that change of style because people have tried it. Nuno tried it, and I think chickened out a little bit earlier. But then we were sat here week in week out, we need to go back to a back 5 and counter attack teams, and we're never happy, really, are we? Because it's the most fickle sport in the world. But yeah, I think for me, Bentley needs to come in for Sarr just to test the waters. And then I think if we can get a win at the weekend, we'll obviously kickstart Sean Dyche's downfall, ready for Lopetegui to come in and save them for relegation. Cannot wait. It's absolutely brilliant. No, imagine.
Mate, you missed it, Meg. No, I actually think that could really happen.
Imagine.
New stadium and everything. Like Lopetegui's
my
going, now I've arrived.
Now this is more like it. This is a bit of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Score prediction, Harry.
Oh, man. I don't like to be too positive because when I am, it always backfires. I was really positive for the Brighton preview. I'll tell you, I'll just go for a 1-1.
1-1. Bayliss.
We're going to do them 1-0.
Positivity from Bayliss. This is uncharted territory.
Rare.
Mark.
A very nervy 2-1 win. Very
2-1.
similar to the win against them.
Lopetegui's first game.
It started our season last season.
That's it. That's it.
Eight Norries to rescue, wasn't it?
That's it. Written in the stars.
Magical.
Magical.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on now and let's get your latest betting odds with Bayliss.
Yeah, bit of a smorgasbord this week.
Oh, lovely. Can I just say the one time that Dan actually did buy a smorgasbord was in America,
Memphis, Tennessee.
He bought the. We were all hammered, obviously, after a night out
That's
in
the place to do it.
Middle of nowhere. I was like, Bayliss, get some like Philly cheesesteaks or like something.
The menu was limited.
And he honestly came back with the hottest pickle and cheese mix I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, it's hotter than the sun. I was like, what is this? He's like, I've just looked at the menu and I've guessed. I was like, it's in English. You've got an excuse if it's in French or something. You know what you're looking at.
I'm sorry.
Go, yes,
the people behind that counter were not speaking English.
Honestly, what was it? Mushrooms on it as well.
It had mushrooms that were dipped in lava.
It's a skillet. You don't want a skillet of anything at 3 a.m. Anyway, sorry, I digress. We've past the point.
On to the betting.
Smorgasbord of betting.
Equally bad choices.
Yes.
I did a little build a bet thing, a couple of them. Wolves to win, Cunha to score in 90 minutes, each team to have 4 or more corners, and half-time under over 0.5 goals. So no goals at half-time.
Okay.
Fair.
Massive.
Yeah. So Wolves, Cunha, more than 4 corners apiece, 0-0 at half-time, 47-1.
Oh.
That seems quite
short. Yeah. Wolves to win, both teams to score, 10 plus corners in the game and 4 bookings or more, 11-1. So there's not a vast amount of value in that. Yeah. You get a little bit more for your scorecast money, but not huge amounts. 2-1 Wolves.
Can score.
Yeah, that's true.
Really low, isn't it? 11-1.
Yeah.
2-1 Wolves, Hwang Yi-Chan to score first, only 55-1.
Wow, it's low.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1-0 Wolves, Neto to score, 60-1. That's not a bad bet.
That's not bad.
Are we favourites for this game? I'm assuming we would
No.
be.
No,
We're
not
not
at all.
Oh.
No.
Wow.
I thought we would be.
That says it all.
Yeah.
That says it all.
I'll go back and have a look, but a 2-2 draw, Semedo to score first.
God, that'd be big. That'd be big. 300?
600s.
600-1.
It'll
Do you want
come in
just the
one
straight
day.
odds? It won't.
No.
Wait, do you want just the straight odds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everton are just the right side of even money, so 13-10. Wolves just over 2-1, them to 5.
100 quid on that then?
Yeah.
2-1
Free money
against Everton. God, did you not see us against United? We were absolute mustard.
The bookie whoever did that
Have you watched
website
us
must
play
be a Wolves
away?
fan.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah, that's true. Right, yeah. Gamble responsibly. Never normally say that, but that's more for me after my shocking weekend. Right, okay. Have we got something else to talk about? Harry?
Ivan Toney, that was a bit
Ivan
of news,
Toney, that's it. Yeah, he's spoken out as many irrelevant rule breakers do about lots of things. Actually, there was Stephen Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO podcast saying that he was basically he'd done the pictures at Wolves, been given a squad number and everything. I think when he was 18, and the move, did it fall through, Harry, or did Jez Moxley go? Oh no, I don't want it.
Oh, if one of you like remember, he had some kind of something wrong with his back where your spine's like bent. So they basically said you might not be walking at 28. So I think, was it the Moxie era? Would it have been Jez Moxie?
Yeah.
Or was it after that when he was 18?
I'm sure.
It probably was Jez Moxie. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, apparently it was all done. He's ready to come from Northampton, I believe it was. And Yeah, last minute, he had his squad number, pictures, met all the players, then bang, you're not playing, see you in a bit, sent him back, and then he ended up going to Newcastle.
He's so Wolves.
Typical Wolves.
I think, at 18, it's quite easy to look back and go, oh, actually, he's turned out to be very, very good. I mean, are you surprised by that, Dan? Because, I mean, he's come quite a long way quite quickly, in fairness.
Yeah, I just didn't know that. It's fascinating.
Hot off the press.
Oh, I didn't, to be fair. It surprised me.
No, I had no idea.
No. He I don't think he likes Wolves now, obviously.
We did the same with Stan Collymore, though, didn't we? We had him. And we let him go as well.
He scored a hat-trick, didn't he, against Albion in the youth team? He scored a hat-trick against Albion. That everyone was buzzing, and like the manager at the time, would it have been Turner?
Graham Turner.
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, well, the bully era, so around that sort of, and apparently, just got rid of him.
Brilliant.
Wow. I mean, to a lesser degree, I mean, Jason Roberts even, I don't think he played a game, did he, in the end, and obviously went on to bigger and better things. I mean, not pulling up any trees and stuff, but obviously, scoring goals in the Premier League, which is...
Well, the modern one's Don Calves, is it?
Yeah. Yeah,
we're
that
good.
was so
We're good
funny.
at these things.
What was it? Bailey, she put on the group, you were like, we should go in for this kid. I was like, we just fucking sent him there.
Oh, yeah, that was...
But there you go.
Just classic Wolves, isn't it? Absolutely classic Wolves.
Yeah. But like I say, these things happen, I think. But it was quite interesting that he brought that up on that podcast. I mean, I'd have put money on that transfer going through, and he might have done. So there you go. Harry, what else on the list?
Well, it's a bit of a boring subject, but there's new pies. You had a pie, didn't you, Sam, Saturday?
Yeah, I didn't think it was I didn't think it was an occasion.
Yeah, well, there's a new brand of pie, but the big news is my dad come to the game and he was in the North Bank Upper. They're doing the McDonald's method at the bar now, where you go up to a touch screen and order your stuff and then go up to the thing. They're trialing it, I think. The North Bank Low is still the same as what it usually is.
Is there just one of them?
No.
It's like he's not going to help the queue situation.
Apparently, it was still carnage. Like there was just a massive queue for the screen instead of the bar. So whether they're going to bring that in, but yeah, apparently the pies are awful. The prices are going up. So all the prices are going up. We're selling all our players, and all Wolves fans are depressed. Basically, that's the moral of the story. They can't get the food right. They can't get the squad right. And it's time to support another team. I'm joking. I'm not. But I don't know. New brands of pies. That's the news.
And on that bombshell, it's time to end on that positive note. Do you feel on the pie front? I think, if you've got someone behind the bar in the North Bank, they're going to be either gawping at you when you order it to their face, or they're going to be gawping at a ticket when they get it through a machine, and it will not make a blind bit of difference.
Sam, to be fair, the lad who served us Saturday was quick.
He's quicker, but it's still... Yeah, I mean, I give up. I did have pink gin though.
You did. That was funny.
Wanted pink
gin. Oh, that's the one, mate.
I'm a classic guy. I'm a classic guy. So.
Love it.
Excellent. Well, we'll say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
Yes, see everyone.
Dan Bayliss.
His internet's gone. No, his
internet has gone. Essentially, he'll catch us in a minute.
He was quiet for a while.
And he said goodbye and a big thank you to Mark Rhodes for coming in and filling in a space. Thank you so much, Mark, for coming on. It's always great to have you.
Oh, bless you. It's been good, lads. You do a great job. So keep on doing it in whatever league we're in.
Exactly. Yes.
Cheers,
definitely. 100%. Perfect. And it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.